Chapter 14. Run-down mess of a home out in the Rose District. Any decent civilian family had been chased out of the neighborhood at least 5 years back. Official tax records had the place as unoccupied. Coach's intel had a list of potentials, all abandoned. Perfect spots for the Swine stash houses, out in the boonies where Acadia's finest rarely went out on patrol. Not much of a population left, and the potholes and crocodile cracks on the road were hell-on sector cars anyway. The ramshackle wooden front door at 8016 Ledger Lane wouldn't guard much of anything. Peer through the holes in the wood, though, and you'd catch the glint of steel, a metallic security door. Multi-point locking system with anti-jemmy hinge bolts. Behind the screen door in the back, a matching set. Minor investment from the Swine's perspective. Allie, bundled up in her hobo disguise, watched from across the street as her target opened the dummy door, then rapped a unique knock against the steel. 20 seconds later, the security door cracked open and her target slipped in. Douglas Varnell, recent parolee, suspected courier for the Swine's operation. Per some documents, Allie had managed to swipe from Maine. That day, she volunteered to pick up sandwiches for the enforcement boys. A quick outfit change in the alley, shedding of the smelly overcoat and wig, the donning of her cherished jacket and balaclava. A minute later, the Angel was at the stash house's east window, utilizing the lockpick methods Coach had been drilling into her the past week. She got the window open, was stepping silently as a kitten on carpet on her way to the living room. Early 1980s model Zenith TV was sitting on the floor. Dark wood cabinet, ornate decoration, 3 perfectly spaced little drawers at the bottom. As much a piece of furniture as the love seat. Surrounding it, the newly arrived Doug and the 2 men appointed the 8 to 4 slot, guarding the stash. She recognized their faces from the maid files. Only had street names on them: Ozone and Rat King. The Angel kept her body pressed against the wall, head tilted inside the doorway. Watched as a piece of opaque glass, cut perfectly to mimic the shape of an antique television screen, was removed by the boys and carefully placed on the floor. Where the cathode ray tube should have been, dozens of tightly packed white bags. Doug was handed 7 of them, given instructions on where to make the delivery. The masked figure had seen enough. Had her 2 Glock 19s in hand. Like always, no pithy one-liners as she opened fire. It's not as if the goons would be able to hear anything over the sound of gunfire. And of course, were she doing her job right anyway, she'd only have a few departing spirits to entertain. Still, she mused, it'd be so Doc Black to bust out something like, "And they say there's nothing good on TV," as Ozone's body slumped atop the Zenith's hollow wooden cabinet. Rat King succumbed to his chest wound while Ozone was contorting his body some weird way atop the television. She lamented the lost opportunity, never learning the origin of that skell's bizarre street name. Doug was standing behind his 2 friends, not in the obvious line of fire. He dropped just as fast as his buddies, though. She stepped closer to confirm her kill. That's when she heard the rumble in the back. Took her eyes off Doug for a second to look behind her. Wasn't able to catch the sudden spark of life that returned to Doug's face as he bolted. Wrapped his forearm against her neck. She hadn't done all of her homework. Didn't know Doug was 10 years older than the average hood. Was smart enough to know playing dead in a shootout is the safest play. More rumbles from the back, but they weren't her current concern. The shock of Doug's move had forced her to drop both Glocks. "Idiot, idiot, idiot," kept repeating in her head. Doug pressed tighter against his victim's petite neck. "Kidding me?" he muttered with surprise. "Someone sent a frail out to do a job like this?" The Angel instinctively writhed under the thug's arm, hoping to contort her body in some advantageous way. Had to draw in a breath, try to calm nerves. Yet Doug was in her ear, detailing the repellent things he had planned for the girl. Coach's lessons on this situation were damned clear. Bury your chin deep in the crook of the skell's elbow. Don't let him have your throat. She obeyed the advice now. Thanked heaven for it. He was squeezing against her lower jaw now, pressing against hard bone. It hurt the girl. Hurt like sin. But at least her throat was in the clear. Doug was still hissing out curses, taunting her with what was going to happen once she passed out. Ignore the baboon, she told herself. She couldn't let him provoke her, get her to make another stupid move. Maybe Doug wasn't as smart as she'd thought a second ago. Was too busy with the naughty talk to notice she'd positioned her teeth next to a major vein. She took a bite and allowed herself to enjoy his shocked reaction. As vulgar as the unwelcome words he'd been spitting in her ear. Old, profane, perverted Doug maintained his grip, though. Hands were positioned on his bent elbow. Pressed it straight towards her body. Gained the proper leverage. With his elbow joint trapped, she swung her body forward. Made a 180 turn. A space opened, just wide enough for her to escape. Footsteps thundered in from the back. Armed men shouting orders to freeze. She paid them no mind. Was far more concerned with her potty-mouthed pal. Standard advice for women attacked by a chokehold is to gain the appropriate leverage, wriggle out, then run away. The angel would be amending this. She opened with a step jab, followed it with an axe kick. Doug didn't have to feign unconsciousness this time, landing on the floor with a broken jaw. "Hands up! Hands up!" came a voice behind her. She turned, saw 6 armed men in standard tactical gear. The 4 letters stenciled in white on their gear read, MAID. Some kind of luck, it occurred to her. The one time the brainiacs at MAID managed to locate a functioning stash house, they walk in on her in the midst of a cleanup. And, confirming her lack of fortune this evening, was another shock. The vigilante wheezed out a gasp as she registered the face behind the nearest agent's visor. "I want those hands up and your body still. We clear on that?" bellowed Stephen Palmer, earning his hazard pay and likely leaving at least 2 separate ladies at home, worried about the night's outcome.